coming to you fresh-faced from home with new Lash Blast Clean Mascara. 10 times the volume, clean formula that's cruelty-free and vegan. Works for me, works for us, works for the planet. New Lash Blast, the clean mascara that works from CoverGirl.
Welcome to Stegman Coliseum in Athens, Georgia. Tonight, the second game of the Georgia Lady Bulldogs 4-game, 11-day season opening homestand as they welcome the Furman Paladins to town. And good evening, I'm Matt Stewart, joined by Coach Christy Thomas-Cuddy. And Coach, this promises to be a fun game. Both these teams like to get up and down the floor, and Furman has vowed to stay with the Lady Bulldogs tonight.
Well, head coach Jackie Carson says we run the exact same transition offense as UGA. The key will be how many easy transition points can either team create today.
Georgia is a traditional transition offense team, and they had it working in their 97-45 season opening victory against Gardner-Webb last Thursday night.
Well, super senior Q Morrison got it started on the offensive end, just rebounding, taking herself coast to coast. And from there, it was prototypical UGA defense. Rim protectors, 9 blocks on the evening, not just by the bigs, but by the perimeter players as well. And blocks are as good as steals because it allows UGA to do what they do best, and that is convert their defense into easy scoring points in transition.
Well, Coach, as they like to say, the numbers don't lie, and Georgia rolled up some big numbers in that season opening victory.
And I think the key tonight is how many points off turnovers can they create from their defense against this Furman ball club.
Furman comes to town 1-0 in the season. They bring 4 native Georgians to the floor on their roster, led by their go-to play, Tate Walters out of Buford High School, just about 45 minutes from here.
Well, Tate Walters has transformed her body, changed her shot as well, and it has paid off huge early in the season. Leading Furman in scoring, she's been dynamic with the ball in and out of her hands. Furman needs big numbers from her this evening. And
you saw her numbers from their 68-39 win against Presbyterian on Friday night. So ready to go, Georgia and Furman. Lady Bulldogs, 3rd largest margin of victory in a season opener in program history Thursday night against the Runnin' Bulldogs. The Georgia basketball team, expectations are large, and they look good in their opener.
Well, they should, with 10 returners led by Jenna Stady and Q Morrison. I think the key in these early games are how can the young players mesh with the veteran players of the Lady Bulldogs.
And Georgia in the white will start on offense, and that's Q Morrison.
Expect man-to-man defense from both these clubs primarily, and both, as we said earlier, want to get up and down the floor.
Morrison out on the wing as the Paladins extend their defense. Down to 10 on the shot clock. Georgia still looking for their first shot of the game. Inside they go, Stady, turn around with 4 seconds. And Georgia has the early lead as we take a look at the Paladins and their starting 5. Walters, Killian, James, Van Rye, and Hodges. Hodges also a local player from Covington, Georgia, and a 2-time All-SoCon.
And Furman's going to run a lot of sets if they can't score in their early offense. And within those lots of sets are a lot of on-ball screens, and you see the hard hedge immediately by Jenna Stady.
Walters down on the deck, unable to save it. It was touched last by Georgia. So 3 on the shot clock for the Paladins as they avoided the turnover, but they'll have to get off a quick shot.
And you're going to see this 1-3-1 zone out-of-bounds defense by UGA with a quick trap if the ball goes corner.
Inside off the inbound, shot was blocked and got it back up there. Nicely done by Sydney James, the reigning SoCon Freshman of the Year from a year ago. Let's take a look at Georgia's starting 5. Barker, Coombs, Morrison, Isaacs, and Stady. Stady scoring 16 with 11 rebounds in the opener against Gardner-Webb.
Again, you're going to see a pack-line defense from Furman, meaning they want to keep the ball at the middle of the floor, and that time Sarah Ashley is able to create and unfortunately turns it over.
Killia from Greece, who suffered a fractured ankle last season, missed the last 11 games. Hodges the miss. Morrison across the half-court line.
Great job of transition defense there by Furman off the miss.
Barker off a curl. Rebound by Isaacs. She hits the deck hard, was fouled by Van Rye.
And Matt, Van Rye is a player who I feel just has to be able to stay in this game, has to avoid foul trouble. So if you're a Furman fan, that's definitely something to watch as this game continues.
Inbounds. Georgia retains possession. That's Coombs. Shot clock's at 15. Isaacs inside for Stady. Off the glass, and Stady has Georgia's first 2 buckets. Killia being guarded by Coombs.
Georgia makes it really difficult to enter the ball to the wing in the offense. That's something that Furman is going to have to work hard just to initiate their offense.
Barker jumped the route and the miss. Rebound by Hodges, and she puts it in. So Hodges with a basket. Played at Alcovey High School in Covington, again about 45 minutes away, just the other direction from Buford.
Well, as a fifth-year senior, that's what you want from Hodges. Play relaxed. It's basically icing on the cake this season for her, and especially to come home to play UGA one last time. You would expect big numbers from her this evening.
Hugh Morrison with the basket, back the other way. The Paladins get the ball up and in from Van Rye.
And that's what Van Rye can do. She's not as big as Jenna Stady in the other post for UGA, so can she get some easy points in transition?
Van Rye went up and got the rebound. Long outlet pass to Hodges in a double team, and she got fouled on the play by Morrison.
Foul directed towards the Lady Dogs.
Matt, we're seeing this early in the game. Furman is not afraid to push tempo. 2 straight back-to-back bucket, or at least a bucket and a foul in transition.
Well, when we talked to Jackie Carson before the game, she was really confident in her group. See Hodges 16 and 11 in 39 minutes against the Lady Bulldogs last year. She averaged 16.2 points, 10.5 rebounds per game, which led the Southern Conference, and had 15 double-doubles. She has been an outstanding player for Coach Jackie Carson.
And as good as she's been, she's elevated her game now in this fifth season. Improved her ball handling, worked to extend her range with a new three-point line. I'm expecting big things from this senior this season.
She was a late returnee. They did not think she was going to come back for that extra season. She informed them late that she would. They're glad that she did. Stady the miss. And fumbled out of bounds as the Paladins did not retain possession. Hodges couldn't come up with the handle. But it was the underclassmen who approached Tiara Hodges and said, we really would like you to come back. We really need you. And so that was the late addition there.
That's a nice late addition. I think it just speaks volumes to the culture of this Furman ball club. Not worried about their own playing time. They knew it was best for their program, best for the team, and they asked her to come back.
Long pass, nicely done, and Hodges gets the roll.
Well, they say to press a pressing team. I guess the key is also to run on a running team.
Hodges has 6 of Furman's first 10 points.
But I like this philosophy from the perspective of, you know how good UGA's half-court defense is. So if you don't want to deal with that, get it out quick and look to score in transition.
Stady to Barker, cutting to the basket.
Great movement without the ball by Sarah Ashley Barker to get that easy 2.
Second career start for Barker, blocked by Stady, one of the best in the country, tops in the SEC. Barker spin move, she got her shot blocked and ends up on the deck, and that's going to be a turnover on Barker in Georgia.
But I think that's something Joni Taylor will take. It's an aggressive jump ball. Sarah Ashley Barker's trying to make something happen at a transition.
Errant pass for Van Rye.
But Matt, it is a dead ball turnover for Furman, which allows them to get back and get solid in the half court.
That was also their first turnover of the night, and they have a 2-point lead halfway through the first quarter.
Furman switching a lot of screens.
Van Rye with the steal. Pass was thrown right to her. Killia drops it off for Hodges. They'll swing it out there. And the SoCon Freshman of the Year, Sydney James, bangs down the three-pointer. Furman leads by 5. Barker, 3. Buried it. Stolen by Barker. To the trailer, Coombs lays it in, we're tied.
Very unselfish play by Sarah Ashley Barker. Looked around, knew she didn't have numbers, just hesitated a moment to hit Coombs in stride for the layup.
Hodges traveled. And that will take us to our first timeout of the night. Coach, just like they promised, we got a racetrack game, 13-13.
Academy Sports and Outdoors has the gifts to make this your most fun Christmas ever. From game tables and grills to apparel and sneakers, we've got everybody covered this holiday. Merry Christmas from everyone at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
We need to do something now. Pfeffer, what's the plan?
T-Mobile, sir?
T-Mobile has great phone offers for every customer on every plan.
Okay, hold on a second. You tell me that new and existing customers can get this?
Yup, new and existing customers. And they can get other benefits like free stuff or discounts every Tuesday.
I was gonna say the same thing.
That's it. Draw up a contract.
T-Mobile doesn't have annual contracts, sir.
I like that. Oh, I like that a lot.
Great phone deals on every plan, every day, every one.
Four minutes to play in the opening quarter. Furman and Georgia tied at 13. Coach Joni Taylor of the Lady Bulldogs, Coach Jackie Carson of Furman. They are best buddies. They are longtime coaching pals. And before every game they play against each other, they have gifts. They come bearing gifts for their children.
I think it's tremendous. Anyone who coaches, it's a hard enough job to coach, much less be mothers, which these two women are. They're great friends, they're great mothers, they're great coaches, and I love this tradition between these two women. It speaks to the sisterhood of coaches. It speaks to the support that they provide one another and each other's staffs. Hats off to both these young women.
And they're not afraid to share. Both of them picked up the system transition offerings from Keela Whittington at St. Francis over the summer at a basketball camp.
Well, it was a women of color retreat, and it's not surprising. Keela Whittington's been around a long time, a renowned assistant coach, and I didn't even know that until Jackie told us that today, that that's where even Joni had picked it up from. And that's the thing in basketball, nothing's secret. Everybody shares, or at least should be, to grow the game. Everyone shares things. So it's not surprising that they have the same system. But I will say I am surprised that Furman, to this point in the game, has executed the transition offense better than the Lady Bulldogs.
Well, both are shooting the ball well. Furman 5 for 9, Georgia 6 for 10, and both of them hit a three-pointer here in the opening 6 minutes.
When I think for both teams, because of the defense and how they want to get out and run in transition, taking care of the ball is crucial. To this point in the game, only 3 turnovers for each team.
Morrison, scoop shot. Georgia leads.
And that is one thing Jackie Carson was worried about. She did not want to allow dribble penetration to the middle.
Hodges drives and stops mid-range. Van Rye got the offensive rebound. Hodges gets the ball back and takes a 3. Rebound controlled by Barker. Long outlet, Coombs, and Killia came up and tried to steal it. Nearly did. She has recovered from a fractured ankle that was broken in 3 places. She's from Greece, and in the middle of the COVID year, Coach Carson really surprised that they even have her back in the starting lineup at this point.
Absolutely. She said she's handled it extremely well. And she said, we only lost 1 home game a year ago. And that is when Killia went down hurt because the whole team was so worried about her.
Said they cried for 3 quarters. They're really upset. They're glad to have her back. She is their point guard. Walters, who was their point guard after Kelia got hurt last year and actually led the team in assists, as Georgia gets it back the other way and Barker lays it in, and Georgia now leads by 4.
Well, and on the make, off that layup, you see immediately UGA picking up the transition defense. Sarah Ashley Barker in transition from the miss.
Bates clears that miss. Morrison, Barker, and Coombs, the starters on the floor right now. Bates and Nicholson came in during the timeout. Now Barker will go out. And Reagan Richardson, the McDonald's All-American, checks into her second collegiate game.
Matt, something to watch is because we're talking about the tempo, it's just the bench play. Right now I'm seeing Tate breathing heavy here because they've had 2 blowout wins to this early point in the season, and definitely the pace has not been this fast up and down by both teams. So something to watch as the game continues, because I do think it favors UGA as deep as they are.
As you can see, it's a 9-0 run for Georgia right now. Bates, the miss off the backboard, and she missed up close. It's stolen away by Richardson, whips the pass to Nicholson. Georgia, 6-point lead. It's their largest lead of the night. Hodges, shot blocked by Bates. With 5 on the shot clock. Bates had 2 blocks in that season-opening win Thursday night to go along with 8 points and 4 rebounds. Hodges off the inbounds. Van Rye got the offensive glass. Boone misses the 3 ball in the corner. James gets the offensive rebound. Furman doing a good job on the offensive glass.
Absolutely. Well, again, UGA came out in that out-of-bounds play into a 1-3-1, and they just didn't get the box, and Hodges makes them pay with that second chance opportunity.
Hodges now has 9 of Furman's 16 points. She might be a little bit fired up to be playing in Athens tonight, you think?
Well, and I think what I love about Hodges' game is she's undersized compared to UGA at the 4 spot, but she is using that to her advantage by stepping out and making UGA defend her away from the basket and off the bounce.
Jump ball, so Georgia retains possession with the arrow. And Coach Carson told us that Hodges has really put a lot of pressure on herself coming back for that extra senior season. And her message to her is just relax, enjoy this. This is a bonus year, have fun.
And I love that message. Because I can understand that from Tiara Hodges' perspective. When your teammates beg you to come back, you want to do well for them. But the best thing she can do is just be the best version of herself for her ball club.
That's Nicholson's first bucket after she went for a 13 and 12 double-double on Thursday against Gardner-Webb.
I mean, the entry pass is hard for Furman right now. The handoffs are hard for Furman right now. Just the defense by UGA's definitely picked it up this second half of the quarter.
Richardson out there on Kelia, and we have a hand check call against Richardson.
Yeah, you're allowed that one hot stove touch, and unfortunately for Richardson, she got away with more than 1 or 2.
Richardson had 3 points in her collegiate debut on Thursday. McDonald's All-American. Comes out of the Charlotte area, part of Steph Curry's Team Curry. Block. Georgia back the other way, leading by 5 at the first quarter horn. Comes up empty. And that's the way the first quarter comes to a close. We were promised a fast-paced game, and we got it. 21-16 after 10.
Coming to you fresh-faced from home with new Lash Blast Clean Mascara. 10 times the volume, clean formula that's cruelty-free and vegan. Works for me, works for us, works for the planet. New Lash Blast, the clean mascara that works, from CoverGirl.
We need to do something now. Pfeffer, what's the plan?
T-Mobile, sir?
T-Mobile has great phone offers for every customer on every plan.
Okay, hold on a second. You tell me that new and existing customers can get this?
Yup, new and existing customers. And they can get other benefits like free stuff or discounts every Tuesday.
I was gonna say the same thing.
That's it. Draw up the contract.
T-Mobile doesn't have annual contracts, sir.
I like that. Oh, I like that a lot.
Great phone deals on every plan, every day, every one.
Start of the second quarter, Georgia leading by 5. Matt Stewart along with Coach Christy Thomas-Cuddy. And Coach, points in the paint, Georgia has dominated. You would expect that. Georgia leading 4-0 on the blocks.
Well, there's different ways to get transition going, and for UGA this evening, it has started with their defense by being rim protectors. Mallory Bates just shutting down the dribble penetration, and she did it away from the basket as well. This is the thing I love about UGA's defense. It's not about just disrupting on the perimeter. It is allowing the bigs to get involved, and that's allowed UGA to get out in transition.
So the blocks aren't just about Jenna Staten,
No.
although she gets her share.
I think Mallory Bates would have something to say about that.
Absolutely. Georgia up by 5, 21-16 as we start this second quarter. Tiara Hodges leading scorer in the game. She's got 9 on 3 of 9 shooting. Sarah Ashley Barker, 7 points, leads the Lady Bulldogs as we begin the second 10 minutes. At the foul line, air ball. That was Henley. Checked in at the first quarter break. Pass swatted, intercepted. Richardson ahead to Chapman. And Chloe Chapman, rim out. Walters the rebound. Long outlet goes to Henley. She missed the bunny.
Yeah, if you're undersized and you come on the road, you've got to be able to make 2 shots every time, and that's your free throws and layups. Definitely a shot I think Henley would like to have back.
Nicholson puts it on the floor, and a traveling call.
I love the play call from the bench, though. Go at Hodges. She's been their main offensive firepower. See if you can draw a cheap foul on her and maybe try to slow her down offensively.
Boone down to 10 on the shot clock. Guarded by Morrison. Walters flashes out, got Bates off her feet. Missed the shot anyway, though. Bates recovered on defense to change the shot just enough for a poor shot.
Well, I was going to say, Bates may not get credit for a block there, but she definitely got in Tate's mind as she released that shot.
Yeah, no one wants to have their shot rejected at the foul line.
I was pretty accustomed to it as a player. It happened more than I would like to remember.
Ball knocked into the backcourt, and Hodges watch it go out of bounds. It was last touched by Georgia.
Maintain possession of the basketball.
So Morrison will pick up Walters as she crosses the logo. 6 on the shot clock. Backdoor cut, stolen. Richardson running break. Now Georgia sets up their offense. Nicholson comes out to set the screen for Morrison. Weaves through the defense. Rebound Furman.
Well, you've seen that horns action from UGA a couple times already tonight as Walters knocks down the 3 in transition. And that time, or I think it's key for UGA, they've got to be consistently able to finish at the rim off the bounce because they're going to get there tonight. Can they finish?
3 threes for the Paladins. They trail by 2. Chapman dribbles right through the defense. And Morrison buries the three-pointer. Second 3 of the night for the Lady Bulldogs.
Well, Coach Jody Taylor doesn't think her team consistently shoots the 3 well. Well, tonight they're saying, Coach, let us do it more because they are knocking them down.
Walters against Bates. Last touch by Walters.
Chloe Chapman just trying to create and doesn't force it, but finds her super senior in the corner, spotting up Q Morrison for three.
5-point lead for Georgia.
I mean, Matt, something for the UGA fans at home to pay attention to is just the different lineups that Joni Taylor and her staff are trying out, trying to get a feel who plays well with who and when. And that's why right now, I think this is at least the 6 different lineup that we've seen already here this evening.
And Coach Taylor told us she's tinkering with her lineup. She wants to have a better idea of who, say, her backup point guard's going to be next week when they play Notre Dame during the Thanksgiving tournament.
Well, this is a brutal stretch coming up for Notre Dame. I mean, for UGA once they hit the road. You got Notre Dame, you got Marquette. Then you're going to have NC State, Texas Tech, all on the road, and Georgia Tech. So some definitely big challenges coming up, and you just want to know as a head coach who's going to play well in what situation, who plays well with who in each situation.
And here's a look at that Georgia schedule. Notre Dame and Marquette in the Thanksgiving tournament. Georgia Tech on December 5th. NC State ranked number 5 in the country on December 16th. That Wolfpack team opening their season last week with a loss to number 1 South Carolina on national television.
Well, everyone matches up differently with teams, so I don't think anyone is going to expect or rely on whatever the outcome is of NC State, Georgia, when you're comparing, in my mind right now, 2 of the top teams in the SEC in South Carolina and UGA. But what I love about it is I think the UGA's coaching staff's going to know where their team is at following this stretch of games.
Now, and that game does not hurt Georgia whatsoever. Win or lose, and win obviously it helps them. Lose, it might even help them a little bit. I mean, you're talking about it's quality opponents, great, strength of schedule games. So Georgia wins in that one.
Well, even tonight, Matt, we're seeing UGA have to execute in the half court more than they did against Gardner-Webb on Thursday. So that's growth. That's good because, again, there's going to be film for this coaching staff to use to teach. There's a lot of young players on the floor right now. I mean, Chloe Chapman is running the point more now than we did see, especially at this point in the year last year at this time. We're seeing 2 freshmen on the floor have to play.
He made a great point. A lot of young players on the floor right now, reflected in the fact Georgia scored only 3 points in the first 4 minutes of the quarter. Meantime, Furman still has a lot of their veterans out there. And fumbled out of bounds off of Hodges. Georgia has 2 of their starters on the floor right now. And now they'll have 3 as Isaacs comes back on the floor.
Well, UGA's making Tate and Hodges work. Walters and Hodges work on both ends of the floor. And that's something I'm eager to see as this game gets in the 3rd quarter, 4th quarter. How are these 2 young ladies playing? Because they're having to exert a lot to be as successful as they have been to this point in the game. And on the flip side, UGA just brings another fresh body onto the court.
Richardson, 3-pointer. Reagan Richardson, the first 3-pointer of her career.
Joni Taylor told me that she was surprised at how well Reagan Richardson had been shooting the ball this preseason. There, the young lady just spots up and knocks it down.
Consensus top 40 national prospect in last year's class. And shot blocked by Isaacs and out of bounds off of Alton. And timeout on the floor. Georgia has opened up an 8-point lead here at Stegman.
Take advantage of Lowe's Black Friday deals early, full of savings to make the season twice as nice and twice as merry. Buy online and pick up in store today.
Academy Sports and Outdoors has the gifts to make this your most fun Christmas ever. From game tables and grills to apparel and sneakers, we've got everybody covered this holiday. Merry Christmas from everyone at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Georgia on another run, currently 6-0. They had an 11-0 run earlier in this half as the Lady Bulldogs coach have opened up an 8-point lead.
Well, this is what happens when you have 10 returning players. I'm going to say 3 starters because Coombs did start at the end of the season, as well as, to this point, the best recruiting class in Joni Taylor's tenure. And so this is the depth that she's been able to develop here at UGA.
10 players back from last year's NCAA tournament team, a 3 seed that got upset by Oregon in the second round of the NCAA tournament 57-50, selected 4th in the SEC preseason coaches poll, and Jillian Hollingshed, the highest rated recruit in the Georgia class at number 37 overall.
Well, Matt, you say upset a year ago. By the numbers, yes, but I think anyone who watched that game knew UGA was, Sarah Ashley Barker didn't make the trip. Gabby was hurt, and so definitely not a full-strength UGA that unfortunately wasn't able to put out a win over a really good and very talented Oregon team.
Coach Joni Taylor quoting Coach Kirby Smart in her message to the team this season, as Kirby often likes to ask his football team, you're elite or you're not. And in order for Georgia to be elite this year, got to improve upon. Last year got to the Sunday championship final in the SEC tournament. Now the goal is to win it. Got to the NCAA tournament. Now the goal is to go deeper than that second round.
Well, I think, Matt, we've been doing this for 5 years. You see the difference in the players that freshmen that are coming in. They buy into the defense. They're working every possession. And right now with depth, your team gets better because players want to play. And the only way you get to play is to be good in practice. And so that elevates everyone's game.
Isaacs the rebound after the Hodges miss. Coombs across. Kick to the corner, and Richardson spot up 3. And rebound Van Rye. That's 5 boards for Van Rye tonight. She had 7 against Presbyterian in the series season opener, he's trying to say. And inside, Van Rye gets the bucket.
Van Rye's just a really skilled young lady. And UGA doesn't matter, make or miss, they're getting it out quickly in transition.
Coach Carson gave her assistant coach Ashley Johnson, who played 4 years at LSU, a lot of credit in the development of Grace Van Rye. Coach Johnson has been working with the post players for this Paladins program.
Well, coaching is teaching, and teaching is coaching, and so sometimes just the different way you phrase things helps it click with a young person. And you're seeing Van Rye just really blossom here this season. I thought she was fabulous in the win over Presbyterian last week.
Had a career-high 16 points on 6 of 10 shooting, had 7 rebounds. And tonight, Van Rye, as she goes to the bench, has 4 points and 5 boards in 14 minutes. 12-point lead for Georgia. Turnaround, missed by Session. Another one of the Georgia players on this roster. She's from Luella High School, and we will have a blocking foul on the Paladins.
Man, I gotta believe Coombs is faster with the ball in her hands than most people are just spreading straight up and down. And that was explosive north to south and drew the foul.
They want to get more scoring out of Coombs this season. Coach Taylor says she's one of those players that, as long as the team wins, she doesn't really care about the numbers. They want her to care about the numbers a little bit more. Not because they want her to be selfish, but because they know that her providing offense is going to help the program.
Well, I think for any young player out there, sometimes the most selfish thing you can do is not take that open shot. And so with Coombs, she has the green light to take that pull-up jumper, to get out in transition, and she's a talented young lady, and she puts so much pressure on a defense because of her ability to get up and down the floor north to south.
She had to be deprogrammed a little bit, if you will excuse the terminology, when she came from UConn, where she was not encouraged to score.
Well, it's different offensive systems. There they wanted to get in the paint and kick out for threes. Here, Joni Taylor wants her players to get to the rim and finish.
4 on the shot clock as it was knocked out of bounds by Isaacs.
UGA spent a lot of time on Furman's out-of-bounds plays earlier today in shoot-around.
3-point attempt missed by James. Rebound again by the Paladins, and the bucket On the baseline, Hodges. She is the first Paladin to get to double figures. She has 11.
Well, I'm sure the message at halftime by Joni Taylor and her staff is going to be, we have to box out. That's the 10th offensive rebound for Furman here in the first half.
They have 9 second chance points. And away from the ball, we have a foul on the floor, and it's going to go against Stady.
No, I think it's Jada Sessions. She was trying to prevent Jenna Stady from rolling off that on-ball screen.
You're right.
And they called her for that.
You're right.
But honestly, I don't blame Sessions a bit, because if Stady gets another foot lower, Sessions isn't going to have a chance versus the much taller Jenna Stady.
Inbounds, Coombs got tied up by Kelia, and it's going to belong to the Paladins. Missed 14-game season-ending fractured ankle. Was leading the team in assists at the time of her injury. Just a devastating break. Long way from home. She battled back from it.
Well, think about how difficult last year was in general, during the middle of a pandemic, much less being from another country. And then you get hurt. My hat goes off to this young lady and her toughness to come back as quickly as she has from a very serious injury.
James beats the shot clock buzzer just barely. Barker, 3, air ball. .45 seconds to play in the half. Lost out of bounds by the Paladins. Difference of 14 seconds, game clock and shot clock, and a foul on the drive. Fourth team foul on Furman, so one more puts George in the bonus, but we're down to our final 30 seconds of the half. So Alton will check in for Furman, and Killia goes out. Inbound, Stady put it in. Stady has 6.
Great play call, Jenna Stady over Jada Sessions, who only is listed at 6'1", so easy catch and shoot.
Shot clock off. Session guarded by Stady. 6 seconds to play in the half. Hodges working against Isaacs. Spin move, air ball into the half.
Well, Jenna Stady on the out-of-bounds play just shows her numbers and knocks it down to give UGA the lead going into half.
Introducing Venture X. Earn 10x miles on hotels and 5x miles on flights booked through Capital One Travel, plus receive access to over 1,300 airport lounges. Venture X, what's in your wallet?
Reggie Bush used to eat breakfast somewhere else. Then he tried Wendy's breakfast. Now we can't get rid of him.
Can you believe this breakfast croissant is only $1.99?
Yeah, Reggie. I put the sign up. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Welcome back. Halftime at Stegman Coliseum. SEC women's basketball season has moved into week number 2 with so many intriguing storylines this season. The possible three-peat for Ryan Howard, the potential repeat for South Carolina. Our out-of-pocket crew, Alyssa Lang and Andrea Carter, take a look at it all.
Welcome back to the SEC Halftime Report. How about this? Some Lady Vols for life. Diamond Shields and Candace Parker winning that 2021 WNBA title with the Chicago Sky. Everyone in the SEC was hyped for these ladies.
This was so special because it was Candace going back to where she grew up, where she always wanted to play. And with Chicago, they had a rough start to the season. Candace was injured. They lost game after game. They did not look like they were putting it together. You talk about a team peaking at the right time. They got it done, brought it back.
Huge congratulations to those ladies and that team winning a championship. Not many better things you can do than hoisting that trophy.
Right.
One good thing you can do, doesn't really compare to a championship, but hype or not is kind of up there with hype levels, right?
As good as it gets.
One of our favorite segments here on Out of Pocket, hype or not. We give you a phrase, you tell me, Drea, hype or not. Ryan Howard will be 3-time SEC Player of the Year. Will she get it this year, hype or not?
I'm hype about it. I'm so hype about it because I think she will have to be great for Kentucky to win. She's in the same system she's always been in, and her teammates know how to play with her. And I think that's really important, right? You think about Kayla Pointer at LSU. She is a star, right? But she's under a new head coach. So it might be a little different, right? You think about other teams, South Carolina, they have so much talent. It's going to be hard to pick just one for Player of the Year. So for Kentucky, for Ryan Howard, that is what it is. That's her role. What do you think?
Kayla Pointer's like, hold on, I opened up SEC play with a triple-double casually for my head coach, Kim Mulkey, night one. But I was going to say, South Carolina fans are sitting here going, whoa, what about Aaliyah? What about Zaya? What about Letitia? And it's like, but there's so many
of them, right? Like, it could be Zaya Cook with 18, and then it could be Aaliyah Boston with 19, or Bree Beal with 17, right? There's so much. I just think there's so much pressure on Ryan Howard. Even Kayla Pointer, Faustina Fua, she's, so it's interesting.
An accolade for Ryan Howard, I'm hype. Yeah, it's probably a shoe-in for sure. We mentioned South Carolina. That leads us to our next one. South Carolina goes undefeated. They did win their first game. Will they win the next 39? Hype or not?
You know, this is hard for me because I almost would rather them lose a game early and learn a tough lesson. But you look at it,
Dawn probably would too.
I know, right? They've got Maryland at home, Stanford at home, UConn at home, right? They have to go to Duke. I think that's tough, but I'm kind of hyped about them going undefeated. They got the same team as last year. Like, come on.
Every time I read that, South Carolina returns every single starter and every single player. Oh, and they added talent too.
Exactly.
That's terrifying.
And honestly, you talk about them learning a lesson early in the season. I think the Stanford loss was a lesson enough. I think that could just propel them through the whole season.
I think any time they've ever lost, Don Staley's like, hey, you remember when that happened 3 years ago? You want to feel that? I know you weren't on the team, but you remember that?
Yeah, exactly. You were there. You felt it.
We will see what South Carolina looks like, the #1 team in the country right now. Next one, Nikki Fargas on the SEC Network this year, calling games in the studio. We're both hyped for this.
Oh, this is, hype isn't even the word. Like, ecstatic, ultimate hype. We are fired up for her.
We're going to have to step up our outfit game. Like, look at Coach Fargas's suits. Like, we are not on her level.
You know, last season, she said, Dre, I saw you on camera. I didn't really like your white nails. I said, dang, Coach, like, wait, serious?
Wait, on that though, because Coach Fargas is going to be calling games for us as an analyst. If you're a player right now in the SEC and you know Coach is in the booth watching you, evaluating you in real time, are you just peeing your pants?
Possibly, absolutely. I would honestly be more nervous if I was a coach. Like, if Coach Fargas is like, so what's your game plan? I'd be like, well, what do you think game plan?
Yeah, what should I do, Coach?
You just played them last year. Like, what do you think? I'd be more nervous if I was a coach.
What about playing in front of Landers?
Oh, gosh. I feel like him just sitting there like this.
Trey, you're trash.
Yeah.
Coach Fargas going to join us in studio when conference play starts. We are very, very excited about that.
Wait.
We have to go shopping. We have to go shopping.
Yeah, and
we know she's going to bring the basketball takes and the fashion.
She will call us out.
You got the takes, but I don't think we have the combined fashion.
No, not on her level. Are you kidding me?
Academy Sports and Outdoors has the gifts to make this your most fun Christmas ever. From game tables and grills to apparel and sneakers, we've got everybody covered this holiday. Merry Christmas from everyone at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Hi, I'm Reese Davis, host of ESPN's College Game Day, here with Sling to help some fans make their signs. Follow me. Let's get these signs ready for game day.
Reese, is this a commercial for Sling?
Maybe.
Watch college football for only $10 your first month.
Malone for the win. National champion. Dynasty fulfills its destiny. The great upset in history.
And welcome back. Halftime here at Stegman Coliseum. The Lady Bulldogs outscored the Paladins 16-7 in that second quarter. Have opened up a 37-23 lead on Furman here at the break. Matt Stewart joined by Coach Christy Thomas-Cuddy. And Coach, your thoughts on that first half? Furman was able to run with Georgia in that first quarter. Things started to even out in Georgia's favor there in the second quarter.
Well, I thought you saw the depth of UGA. It may not have directly correlated to points, but you saw it in terms of the defensive nature, never missing a beat. And I think where it really affected Furman was they stopped being able to consistently attack the offensive glass. 10 offensive rebounds, which I'm sure Joni Taylor's addressed, but I saw a number of possessions late in that second quarter where no one was going to the glass for them.
Well, this has been a familiar theme for Coach Joni Taylor in her 7 seasons as the Ladies Bulldogs head coach. When they're successful, they're getting it done on the defensive end.
Well, you don't play for Joni Taylor if you're not going to play defense. And defense isn't just about steals. What I love about this UGA team is the blocks are allowing them to get out in transition. And it's not just Jen Stady down low. It's Mallory Bates. It's Jordan Hodge. It's Javin Nicholson. And it is perimeter players as well. They do not give up on the plays, and they are allowing their defense to stay overly aggressive around the perimeter.
And they've also knocked down 3-point shots in the first half. 3 for 7. That's a good percentage for this Lady Bulldogs team in the first half.
Well, Joni Taylor was joking with us today that she loves the rule change of moving the 3 back because now everyone else struggles from 3. Well, hey, Joni Taylor, your team is not struggling from 3. 3 of 7 in the first half, and they did it off dribble penetration, pulling weak side, kicking it out to open teammates, and the good news is UGA's been set and ready to knock them down.
2 players in double figures here at the break. Sarah Ashley Barker with 11. She's just 1 off of her career high set last year against App State. And Tiara Hodges has 11, and I think 9 of those came in the first quarter, so things slowed down a bit for her in the second 10 minutes.
Well, hats off to Tiara Hodges because none of those points have come easy. They've been challenged in transition, and they've been on a lot of reverse pivot moves to create space. But as you see, it's just the specialty stats for UGA here this evening. And points in the paint, it's tremendous, 24, but not if you compare it to Thursday night when they had 60 for the game.
Javin Nicholson there. First half, Nicholson, after going for 13 and 12 in the opener, has 4 points and 2 rebounds in the first half of play. So Georgia looking for a 2-0 start. This is game 2 out of a 4-game, 11-day homestand to start the season. Mercer on Thursday, and then Alabama State on Sunday. And then things really ramp up in the schedule as they go on the road. They've got Notre Dame in the first game of that Thanksgiving holiday tournament.
Well, again, these early preseason games for UGA is about the coaching staff getting a feel for their players. We have a lot of new faces on the floor for UGA. And then how do those new faces compete with some veterans? Joni Taylor told us today, I need better defense from Michaela Coombs, from Chloe Chapman. They need to be lockdown defenders so that it's not just Q Morrison. And I think most of all, she's looking to see which post players can play with one another on the floor.
I think that's a good point. I think the other point is, you got to find a second point guard. They're still looking for that as they get ready to embark on that road trip next week. And I think they're getting some, questions answered about Sarah Ashley Barker in relation to her offense. They wanted to see more offense from her, and they're now getting that here now that she's a starter on a regular basis.
Well, Sarah Ashley Barker plays so hard. We saw it a year ago, the potential from this young lady. And what I've seen in that first half was the best under control I have seen Sarah Ashley Barker play. She let the game come to her, but she stayed aggressive. She allowed defense to create offense. She spotted up. She was ready to shoot. And most importantly, I didn't feel like she looked rushed at all in that first half.
Coach Taylor will tell you it's just her understanding. She understands what they're now trying to do on the offensive end, whereas as a freshman, that was not always the case.
I think it's hard as a freshman because you're thinking. You're trying to remember where to be, where everyone else is supposed to be. And effort has never been the issue for Sarah Ashley Barker. She can rebound. She can defend. She alters shots on the defensive end. She can knock it down from deep. And that's one area that I'm really looking at from her this season. You've got players who can create off the bounce. You've got great low post players. Who's going to be that consistent threat from deep to make defenses stay honest?
The miss by Coombs, but the offensive rebound by Stady to extend the possession. This is Georgia's largest lead of the game at 15 points. Barker drives, and a new career high for her as she's now at 13.
Furman missed Hodges off the screen on the ball and the roll to the hoop. They were just a second too late trying to look at her.
Walters the miss. Only 3 points for her tonight, 1 of 5 shooting. Isaacs inside, a battle for and lost the ball.
Even Jenna Stady getting out and trying to deny their ball reversal pass.
They missed the backdoor cut right there. In the corner, Killia. Stady the rebound. Clears it to Morrison. On the wing, Barker.
Well, Matt, you said on that last possession they missed Van Rye on the roll. Well, that was Tate Walters trying to see over Jenna Stady. That time, they found Van Rye down low.
Stady working against Van Rye, back to the basket. Spin move, Stady with her 4th bucket.
And that's where you see the growth of Jenna Stady throughout her career. Didn't try to rush, was very measured, wanted to feel where the defensive player was, and nothing dramatic in the move, just use her height and touch and knock down that shot.
Coombs tips the rebound to herself and starts a break for Georgia. Morrison on the wing, and we will have a blocking foul on the Paladins. Walters will, nope, Killia will be whistled for that. So Killia will come out. Grayson Boone will check in for her. Teaching moment from the only player in SoCon history, only person in SoCon history to win SoCon Player of the Year and Coach of the Year. Jackie Carson, the Player of the Year, twice back in 1998, 1999, and then again the Coach of the Year in 2014.
And I'll be shocked if throughout her tenure there at Furman, if she doesn't have a repeat of Coach of the Year. Just a tremendous coach, teacher of the game.
Resume is impressive. 2nd in most points scored, 2nd in rebounds, 4th in blocks, 1st in free throws made, 1st in double doubles, 1st in SoCon Player of the Week honors. Jackie Carson was a big-time star for the Paladins.
And when you're that good, you have that uniform hanging up in the rafters.
And a shot clock violation after the Stady block.
Well, Furman's doing a great job of trying to create off the bounce. The problem is that rotation by the bigs of UGA has been, and this time it's Jenna Stady to rotate and get the block.
2nd block of the night for the career active leader in the SEC in blocks. Led the SEC, was number 6 in the NCAA last year in total blocks. Nice ball movement, feed back to Stady. Barker, back to Stady, basket. Double figures now for Stady. She's the 2nd Lady Bulldog to get there.
But Matt, what I saw are players who didn't settle for a shot. Instead, they waited to get a better shot. Sarah Ashley Barker with the assist for Jenna Stady, who slides up the lane.
Back on the other end, the turnover by Furman. So the Paladins, after scoring 16 points in the first 10 minutes of the game, have now scored only 9 points over the last 13 minutes of the game.
And I feel like UGA's transition offense has been even more explosive since halftime as well to put more pressure on Furman.
Isaacs, rim out. Barker ends up on the deck as she got boxed out on her rebound attempt. Hodges capped by Stady.
Again, Furman's doing a good job getting 2 feet in the paint off of dribble penetration, meaning they're beating their own player. But the problem has been the rim protectors of UGA have been there to consistently block the shot.
7 blocks for the Lady Bulldogs tonight, and Stady has 3 of them. Coombs fires it off the leg of Walters.
Jackie Carson's not agreeing with that call because she believed Coombs was standing out of bounds when she touched the ball. So you're seeing the 2 officials get together trying to make sure they get this call right.
An argument that Carson's not going to win. She's in her 12th season, 175 victories. Became the program's 9th head coach back in April of 2010. Had back-to-back 19-win seasons in 2019 and 2020. Stady banks it off the glass. She's got 12.
Great play from the bench where they just removed the weak side because they know Jenna Stady's got the one-on-one. Great lob pass for the 2.
Stolen, Morrison. Players on the wing. Coombs lays it in. Timeout, Furman. Georgia on a 10-0 run. Morrison the steal, Coombs the lay-in. Lady Dogs running tonight in Athens.
Academy Sports and Outdoors has the gifts to make this your most fun Christmas ever. From game tables and grills to apparel and sneakers, we've got everybody covered this holiday. Merry Christmas from everyone at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Hi, I'm Reese Davis, host of ESPN's College Game Day, here with Sling to help some fans make their signs. Follow me. Let's get these signs ready for game day.
Reese, is this a commercial for Sling?
Maybe.
Watch college football for only $10 your first month.
Sarah Ashley Barker, new career high tonight, 13 points on 5 of 9 shooting from the floor in 17 minutes.
And Barker only knows one speed, and that's all out. You see it in transition. You've seen it with her defense. She's constantly moving without the ball in her hands, hitting the offensive glass, spotting up in transition. Just a great game so far for the sophomore from Alabama.
2 years ago, she was the Gatorade Alabama High School Player of the Year. Last year, she was SEC All-Freshman. She's going to be a big-time star in the Southeastern Conference.
Well, I just love her motor. She plays so hard. Now, last year I thought at times she played almost out of control because she was playing so hard. And again, it's just the effort. She wants to do right. You can see that. And this is a young lady that Joni Taylor was talking about even before she arrived on campus, saying just how special she believed this young lady would be.
Well, Coach Taylor told us the difference for Sarah Ashley Barker and Michaela Coombs as well this year is instead of riding in the car, they have the keys to the car. They got to drive it this year.
And a lot more responsibility. We know when you're in that driver's seat. But I think the game has slowed down for Sarah Ashley Barker. I think she's seeing the floor even better than she did last year as a freshman. I just think she is so versatile. She can impact the game in so many different ways.
There's no doubt about it. When you go from the back seat to the driver's seat, it's fun. It can be scary. There's a lot of responsibility. Inside with 4 on the shot clock, Van Rye got the block. Stady rolled off the rim, and Barker adds to her career high total with that basket. She now has 15.
Well, Matt, here's the other piece. You're not driving a jalopy here at UGA.
No.
You are driving a Maserati in terms of speed, and that's even more difficult because of the pace that UGA plays with. And so there, yet again, Sarah Ashley Barker on the glass with a putback.
Or a Ford F-150. Remember, you're at Georgia. Kirby Smart's favorite truck.
Fuel your grind with Gatorade's proven formula. And the right blend of electrolytes to help you on your journey to greatness.
Reggie Bush used to eat breakfast somewhere else. Then he tried Wendy's breakfast. Now we can't get rid of him.
Can you believe this breakfast croissant is only $1.99?
Yeah, Reggie. I put the sign up.
Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
52-25, Georgia's blown this one open halfway through the third quarter. Coach, let's take a look at your players that you might not find at the top of the box score.
And what I mean by this, Matt, is they might not lead their team in scoring night in and night out, but I'm not sure that these teams could be as successful without them. And so, obviously, everyone here knows about Q Morrison. Impacts this UGA team on both ends of the floor. A transfer from Syracuse that has arrived at South Carolina. Camila Cardozo, 6'7" post player. Led the ACC in blocks as well as Defensive Player of the Year. Just another big that Dawn Staley now has to use. And Tamari Key, the post player for Tennessee, she's got to develop more of an offensive low post game and be that consistent scorer for Tennessee to take that next step. And then Robin Benton, who transferred from Auburn, can she consistently knock down shots from deep to take some scoring pressure off of Ryan Howard?
And here tonight, Morrison putting together another solid performance. 9 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 23 minutes. Again, you will not find her name at the top of the box score, but she's getting the job done. Georgia would not be as good as they are without her.
Well, when I look at players like that, it's like if I was starting a team, who would I want on my team? And you better believe I'd go after Q Morrison, because this young lady's a leader on and off the floor. That smile ignites everyone around her, but her effort never wanes. And that's been that way since she stepped on the floor. The only thing that has slowed down this young lady has been injuries earlier in her career.
And she has no turnovers tonight. An additional bonus. Coach Taylor was joking that she always tells her when she commits a turnover, well, you got to go get it back on the defensive end, and she typically does. But she's also one of those players that she likes to play fast. She's going to make turnovers because she plays fast. She says she'll have games where she commits 7 turnovers, and I'll never say a word to her.
Well, again, I think any coach who wants up-tempo knows you got to live with certain turnovers. And with Q Morrison, she's going hard all the time, and we know that. Matt, one thing I love about Q Morrison is she doesn't want the accolades. She just wants her team to be successful. Even when she went to tell Joni Taylor that she wanted to come back for the 5th year, she said, yeah, I just walked in her office and told her, and that was pretty much the end of the discussion. Joni told me some things to think about, but it wasn't any celebratory thing. It's just, this is what I want to do. No big deal to her because she believes in this program and where it's going.
And speaking of turnovers or lack thereof, Morrison with 0 tonight. Georgia collectively as a team has only 5.
I really hope you just didn't put the jinx on the Lady Bulldogs.
And Furman's only scored 3 points off of those 5. So we'll just see if I just jinxed it.
You know, Furman is undersized, and we know that. And so to get an upset, you've got to be able to create easy offense. And how do you do that? Being able to convert the other team's turnovers. So UGA's done a good job of preventing that. The other part is second chance opportunities. They get into the free throw as they convert there. But for 11 offensive rebounds, they haven't been able to convert, but only turn those, they've turned those into 9 second chance points.
Right. Those 2 free throws by Walters give her 5 on the night. Still only 1 Paladin in double figures, and that's Hodges. And only 2 of her 11 have come in the second half. Or actually since the first quarter, if I'm not mistaken, in the corner. And there's a 3-pointer by Richardson, the second one of the night for her.
Well, I think someone at home might say, well, she's wide open. Well, the reason she's open is because of the dribble penetration, which pulls her defender, and great job of kicking out to Richardson in the corner.
Coombs races up the floor for Georgia, whips it to the corner, and Barker. Rebound cleared by the Paladins in session. Walters 3. Knocked out of bounds by the Paladins. Furman now 3 of 12 on their 3-point attempts in this game.
And Matt, we talked earlier about all the different lineups that Joni Taylor is tinkering with, and here we're seeing Michaela Coombs run the point position for UGA.
Splits the defense. Nicely done. Picture perfect as Nicholson puts it in off glass.
Well, she's got my vote right now for another point guard because that was a great job splitting the hedge, pulling a defender, and just making a little drop pass for a post player down low.
Entry pass and a bullet. Speaking of nice passes, Van Ree with a good one right there, and Session with the basket. Barker. 17 for the sophomore.
She just looks so poised, so under control right now when the ball's in her hands. That time, just nice little head fake to get the defender up and then elevated to knock it down.
Foul is going to be called on Georgia. Richardson picks up the foul. That'll be her second, and the second team foul on Georgia here in this third quarter. It was 21-16 at the end of the first quarter. Georgia's outscored them 38 to 13 cents.
Furman will maintain possession.
You know, we talked about UGA's big stretch coming up. Well, same thing for Furman right now. This team is going to know where they're at. They're going to have great film to study, evaluate, know what to tinker with, know, lineups and whatnot. Because come SoCon, that kind of shot by Tate Walters is going to fall down a lot more frequently because no one's going to be as big and quick as UGA night in and night out in the SoCon.
Made the SoCon all-freshman team a year ago. That three-pointer gives her 8 in the game. Coons, and offensive foul on Michaela Coons. Final minute of the third quarter. Walters goes by Coons and tried to force it up and in. Got it back underneath and a tie up, and it'll be Furman's ball. Walters has a little bit of an edge to her. She plays with the toughness. In fact, Coach Carson says she's got a chip on her shoulder, wants to prove that she's one of the best in the Southern Conference.
Yeah, I said she plays with a swagger, and Jackie Carson said, yes, definitely. I mean, any young lady who's willing to change her shot in the offseason is definitely a committed young athlete who wants to do well.
Hodges left it short. Chapman to Barker. Barker right through the defense. 19 for Sarah Ashley Barker.
Sarah Ashley Barker's just slicing and dicing right now on offense.
Hodges, nicely done, mid-range. She's got a really good mid-range game. She's got 13.
Well, 3 straight times they tried to get her that entry pass to the wing, and that was the first time in 3 attempts that she was able to get it and was able to score.
She's among the all-time leaders in Furman history. Tiara Hodges came into the game with 1,135 career points, 20th on the all-time list. Now she's just 1 rebound away tonight from her 932nd, which would tie her for Brittany Hodges. Missed by Walters at the buzzer, and that's the end of the third quarter. Georgia outscores the Paladins 24-11 in the third period.
With Sarah Ashley Barker slicing and dicing in transition in the half court. Great touch. UGA up 61-34.
Academy Sports and Outdoors has the gifts to make this your most fun Christmas ever. From game tables and grills to apparel and sneakers, we've got everybody covered this holiday. Merry Christmas from everyone at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Back with your check. Yep.
It's okay, everyone. I got this.
Are you a doctor?
Negative. I just watch a ton of medical dramas on Sling TV. Good news, Her kidneys are beating.
Sling has live sports, news, and entertainment. It's the live TV you love and on demand for just $35 a month.
I need tweezers, rubbing alcohol, and a Western omelet.
With Sling, you're confident you get the best of live TV.
You're gonna be fine.
Maybe too confident. Get your first month now for only $10. Sling.
Start of the fourth quarter, Georgia leading Furman 61-34. Matt Stewart along with Coach Christy Thomas-Cuddy. We started the night talking about Georgia transition points, what they did against Gardner-Webb, doing more of the same tonight against Furman.
Well, UGA only knows how to play in fifth gear, and that's on both ends of the floor. We've seen their defense lead to transition points. We've seen off of makes, long outlets, quick passes. That's the thing about UGA. They can obviously dribble the ball off the floor, but they keep the pressure on opponents because of their north to south speed and their ability to create and finish off the bounce.
I think that's the key when listening, and we say transition points. That does not necessarily mean points off turnovers or even fast break points. It can be points off of misses and just runouts.
Well, I think the most dangerous team is always a team that will fast break on you, make or miss, because it means that that defense of yours never gets a chance to rest. And Matt, you've talked this whole entire second half about how UGA has outscored Furman. I think fatigue's a little bit of this because of the constant pressure UGA has maintained in this game, and that's been on both ends of the floor. If Furman misses, they know they have to sprint back to try to prevent easy transition points.
Georgia has outscored Furman 40-18 in the second and third quarters. It was a 5-point game after one, which I think ties right back into the point, Coach, what you're saying. Georgia just wears you out. Furman was able to run with them for 10 minutes, but after that, Georgia wore them out.
Well, I think Tate Walters is a very talented young lady, but she's had Q Morrison on her the majority of the night. And when she hasn't been in the off-guard position, she's been in the point position, having to bring it up against Q Morrison. I'll speak from personal experience. It is exhausting when someone like Q Morrison is just dogging you up and down the floor.
And that was one of the things that Coach Carson was concerned about with her point guard was Q Morrison unnerving their point guard. They wanted to try to keep their point guard calm. Easier said than done when, like you said, Q Morrison's dogging you up and down the court all night.
No pun intended with the dog reference.
Yeah. But it works. Stolen away by Chapman. Morrison open lane on the crossover dribble. And she's got 11. So Q Morrison has now scored in double figures 14 of her last 15 games.
Well, Matt, that's a veteran move. She just rejected the on-ball screen and took it hard to the rim by going baseline. And that's something. UGA has been switching on the on-ball screens, and Furman has not been able to exploit that consistently here this evening.
Chapman, the rebound. Stop and pop. And whistle underneath.
Foul directed towards Georgia. 22, Mallory Bates. That's her second.
Georgia has a 63-34 lead. Our score clock is controlled electronically, so we're a bucket behind right now, but you get the point. Georgia's got a big lead.
I think that's par for the course. Even the Bug can't keep up with the speed of UGA this evening.
Touche, I like that.
Despite the spread, you see Furman still working hard, still trying to execute. And on the flip side, you see UGA still trying to disrupt in the half-court defense, denying one pass away all over the floor.
Boone, three-pointer, rebound Richardson. Reagan Richardson, long outlet comes to Morrison. Spots Chapman on the wing, and Chapman with her first bucket of the season.
Q Morrison with the assist.
So Walters ends up losing the dribble out of bounds, but Georgia touched it last. Inbound stolen by Chapman. Georgia's got a 3-on-1 break. Chapman lays it off for Bates, who lays it in. First bucket of the game for Bates.
Great job by Chapman, waiting to that last second to drop it off to Bates for the 2.
Backdoor cut, stolen. Nicholson with the steal. Isaacs running the break for Georgia. Actually, Richardson, pardon me, running the break for Georgia. And Morrison at the elbow. Nicholson, the offensive rebound, had it swiped away by Hodges. Janae Outen, whose big sister is a grad student here at Georgia and played 4 years in the Paladin program. 5 on the shot clock. Boone in the corner, and the rebound by Nicholson. 4 boards, 6 points for her tonight. And Walters got back on defense to deny the long pass.
Great effort by Walters, and she gives the universal signal to the bench of I just need a second. I can't stress upon you how hard Walters has had to work this evening for her ball club on both ends of the floor.
Six to go, a little bit more than that, 6 and some change. Georgia will improve to 2-0 in the season with Mercer coming to town on Thursday. Always a fun battle when Susie Gardner, one of the Lady Bulldogs all-time greats, comes to town with her Mercer team. Played for Andy Landers, of course.
Author as well as head coach.
That's right.
Susie Gardner.
And I was getting ready to say, you know, if you didn't play for Joni Taylor at Georgia, you played for Andy Landers. I mean, there's one of 2 choices, really. Although there was early on there, they had a coach before Landers. That was back before there was even an NCAA. This is the 49th year of the Georgia program. Hodges banging bodies with Morrison. 7 on the shot clock. Pass stolen by Nicholson. Got it back after it was deflected to her.
And that's one area, a couple of these Furman turnovers, especially here late, have been young players just looking at their teammate, not seeing weak side defense and making passes.
Chapman lobs it over the defense into Nicholson. She got fouled, and she will go to the line.
Great job by the Lady Bulldogs of realizing the mismatch that Javin Nicholson had down low and getting her the ball.
Foul was on Whitaker. So Nicholson, 7 points and 4 rebounds. And rebound by Hollingshed. Beat everybody to the rebound. She's going to be really good. Coach Taylor says she has Candace Parker-ish tendencies and capabilities. That's pretty good. Timeout, Georgia 70-34 with under 5 to go.
Make more holiday at Lowe's. Store your favorite treats of the season and make a dinner to remember with LG must-haves. Shop early for Black Friday deals and save up to $750 on select appliances at Lowe's.
Academy Sports and Outdoors has the gifts to make this your most fun Christmas ever. From game tables and grills to apparel and sneakers, we've got everybody covered this holiday. Merry Christmas from everyone at Academy Sports and Outdoors. Believe in the hype, especially when it comes to these SEC freshmen. Here are 4
of the 21 SEC freshmen who ranked in the ESPNW 100.
Well, Jersey Wolfenbanger from Arkansas, 6'5", already averaging 6 points and 5 rebounds a game for Arkansas. Just again, another three-point shooter for Mike Neighbors. And we've already seen outstanding play by Hollingshead. This young lady, I believe in the hype in terms of the Candace Parker-like tendencies. You see the length, the ability to shoot the three, the ability to create off the bounce. Just eager to see how this young lady continues to blossom and grow. Sarah Puckett, a freshman out of Alabama at Tennessee, especially with injury to Ray Burrell, her contributions are going to be really important. And Jada Walter for Kentucky had a big game yesterday in the loss to Indiana with 16 points.
Hollingshead, speaking of which, shot clock winding down, 10 seconds. Missed up close, got her on miss and sticks it in.
Well, as a freshman, she was getting bodied up, and I love the fact that she went up strong, knew she didn't have it go down, just continued with the shot, was able to get the second chance opportunity.
And speaking of signing classes, the early signing period ongoing, and Georgia signed the #1 ranked forward in the nation in Janiyah Barker out of Montverde Academy. Stady with the cap leads to a break. Barker back over her shoulder to Stady, who got fouled on the play.
Unselfish play by Sarah Ashley Barker. I think she wanted to pay off the block by Stady on the other end. And this again, just how UGA can just wear you out. You think you're open, great closeout by Stady to get the block, and they're off and running.
So Georgia signed 3 in the early period. Janiyah Barker, who I mentioned, the #1 ranked forward in the nation. Also Sydney Bowles, another very highly ranked player. And this is a very interesting situation. Point guard Taniyah Hilton has signed, and she's actually going to join the team at some point this season.
Well, here's the bottom line. Success breeds success. And Jody Taylor had a plan when she took over this program. And when you meet this coaching staff, you see how dynamic you are. But you also know the family-first culture that's been established here. And so what you're seeing is young women who want to come and play for Jody Taylor and her staff, and who want to have the success that this Lady Bulldog team have started to have consistently under her leadership.
Well, the other 2 freshmen are now on the floor too, Jenkins and Sendar. And they're really good, but because they're not McDonald's All-American, they just get labeled the other 2 freshmen. But they got their own resumes. They're pretty good. And there's Sendar out there on the wing. Hollingshead. So 3 of the 4 freshmen out there on the floor right now with Chapman and Stady. And you touched on it earlier, the combinations that, they're just tinkering. They're just in the lab right now. They're mixing potions. They're trying to figure out what the lineup's going to be going forward. Which ones work, which ones don't.
I'm going to refer to it as they're baking. What's going to be the best, what's going to be the masterpiece, the best cake, the best pie. And this is a great matchup that I love to see together is Hollingshead and Jenna Stady. You're going to have 2 dominant low post players to battle these 2 young ladies. And Hollingshead, we know, can step out, hit the 3, but Stady can as well. I think it's going to be the defensive end that affects these matchups and how Jody Taylor uses the bench as much as it is on the offensive end.
Coach, and I also love the diversity in the Georgia lineup combinations. So Georgia can play a bunch of different ways. They got athletic bigs. There's no question about that. Chapman. Hollingshead, offensive rebound, flipped it up there, didn't fall. She's got springs, though. Springs in those legs. Whitaker had her shot blocked, but the Paladins stay with it to get the basket.
They have not stopped battling. I mean, between Mercer and Furman, I'm excited to see how the SoCon race goes this season.
Furman picked to finish 4th in the Southern Conference. They finished 5th last year. They were 2nd the year before that. Jenkins in the corner playing some defense on James. Well, We'll have a foul on Stady. Coach, let's take a look at the key upcoming SEC non-conference matchups, and we got some good ones on the board.
Well, you've got two at the top and the bottom there. It's just good old-fashioned interstate grudge matches between the two. And honestly, there's a couple that I'm really eager to see. Texas, Vic Schaefer with a huge win yesterday against Stanford. In Tennessee right now, just how long will Ray Burrell be out with her knee injury? And then LSU's been revitalized under Kim Mulkey. Their defense versus an Iowa State team that likes to shoot it from deep.
And we'll get a chance to see Kim Mulkey and those LSU Tigers on December 30th. That'll be the conference opener for the Lady Bulldogs, and that'll be fun.
And one that I'm really eager to see is that Kentucky versus Louisville game. Louisville was upset on Friday by Arizona, but I guarantee you that's a team that's going to look a lot different come December than it did right now. And then, again, Kentucky doesn't have a lot of size down low, down to 8 players, even more pressure on Ryan Howard to score. Does she get scoring assistance from the rest of her team?
I was getting ready to say they have 8 players, but one of them's Ryan Howard.
Exactly.
So that counts for like 4, right?
Going for, can she go and be player of the year in the SEC for a 3rd straight year?
Yep.
A lot of people have her projected as the #1 draft pick in the WNBA this spring.
Is Joni Taylor's husband scouting her? Of course, Darius, the assistant general manager with the Atlanta Dream after wrapping up this past season as the interim head coach. So excited for him and his new responsibilities with the WNBA team.
Joni said she was on her way out of the country with USA Basketball when Darius called her to say he had been promoted to head coach in the interim capacity. So she said it wasn't like we had a lot of time to talk about it. But great family support of the Taylor family to help with the young daughters.
Joni, I have good news and bad news. The bad news is I've been fired as the coach. The good news is I'm now the assistant general manager.
Basketball is just in Darius's blood, so happy to see him still in the game with the Dream.
Kimmy Jenkins with the layup. And a timeout called here by Coach Carson just to make substitutions. Just to make sure she gets the players that she wants on the floor here for the final 56 seconds. Inside, Whitaker fouled on the play.
Well, that was set up by Henley's dribble penetration. Great court vision to thread the needle to get it to her post player down low.
So Katie Whitaker at the line, freshman out of Rochester, New York. Next up for the Paladins, they'll host Converse on Wednesday. And their conference opener not until January 6th against UNC Greensboro. Hollingshed inside, off glass. Hollingshed with 8. Back-to-back 8-point games for the freshman in her first 2
Sorry, man, I was
Georgia
just going to
games.
say, great hands and great touch around the basket.
So Georgia's going to close this game, outscoring Furman 57-25 in the final 3 quarters after a tight first quarter. Sarah Ashley Barker, new career high, 19 points tonight.
Well, it's what we expected from UGA, a high-pressure defense, get out in transition. To Furman's credit, they started the game at the tempo they wanted. I just think it was too much UGA on and off the bench, non-stop, relentless defense that wore Furman out.
Georgia now 2-0 on the season. They've got Mercer coming up Thursday night. And now for Coach Christy Thomas-Cuddy and the entire SEC Network team, I'm Matt Stewart. Good night from Athens, where the Lady Bulldogs win big.